It cannot ignore the fact that Russia cannot be defeated on the battlefield. So they're waging increasingly aggressive information attacks. First of all, targeting the young generations, lying on every step, distorting historical truth, attacking our culture, the Russian Orthodox Church, and other traditional religious institutions in our country. Now look at what they're doing with their own peoples. They're destroying the institution of family, their cultural and historical identity, and various perversions with regard to children up to pedophilia are accepted as the new norm, and priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings. People can live however they want, and we in Russia have never intruded into people's private life, and we're not going to do that. But what we want to say is maybe they should take a look in the scripture, into the holy book of any great religion. It says that the family is a union between woman and man. And these holy texts are now being increasingly doubted in the West. The Anglican Church is now considering the idea of a gender-neutral God. What can we say? God forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
All right, Shalom. This is Gamali Allah of Great Millstone in Atlanta. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, now what you saw,
it cannot ignore.
All right, was Putin. This is gonna be basically a reply to what he was saying, but I'm gonna entitle this "Putin is speaking facts," and this is an upload. This is re-uploaded by Elder Yashawamba on 2 Through and Info. So yeah, let's just dive into straight into what Putin was saying. All right, because you know. A lot of what he was saying is very factual, you know. All right, number one, he started out that America cannot beat Russia on the battlefield. All right, which is, you know, that's true because, you know, Russia. I mean, they both have they both have pretty stacked armies. You know, not to take away America's might, because America's bad too. You know, but if it came down to it, see, Russia also has the backing of China, which is another superpower. So, I mean, you know, according to prophecy, America will be destroyed, you know. So, yeah, Russia, you know, Putin was right in a sense because, hey, America doesn't want to see Russia when it comes to, I mean, if you have nuclear weapons, you know, that's all you need. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to wipe out a country. Okay, is nuclear capabilities, and Russia is always boasting of its nuclear capability. So, you know, they can both. You know, America can wipe Russia out, and Russia can wipe America out. Well, Russia will wipe America out. You know, Russia, China, and as well as America's allies. You know, but you know, going into what he was saying, because he mentioned a few things, because he went into the morality of America. He said that, you know, because they can't win on the battlefield, they target information war. Okay, which is true because there's plenty of methods that the so-called white man in America, or, you know, in the West, rather, will wage on its citizens and on the world, okay, to wage war, okay, to destroy them mentally. Hey, because when you destroy people's minds and their morals, that's an act of war as well, believe it or not. You might think, oh, well, you know, well, no, you're making the nation weaker by destroying morals and the way people think, you know, you're making the whole nation weaker, because the moral fabric of the society is drifting away. It's tearing apart. So, you know, that's one example. Then he mentioned same-sex, you know, the West pushes same-sex marriage, and, you know, he said pedophilia. So yeah, he said a mouthful, which is true. And, you know, I'm just gonna get a few precepts. I'm gonna play the video again, and I'm gonna just get a few precepts, and you know, Lord willing, you're edified. So,
the fact that Russia cannot be defeated on the battlefield. So they're waging increasingly aggressive information attacks. First of all, targeting the young generations, lying on every step, distorting historical truth, attacking our culture, the Russian Orthodox Church.
Yeah, distorting historical truth, because so-called white man, all right, that's Psalms 55 and 21. His words were smoother than butter. Psalms 55 and 21, it says, his words were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Yeah, so, because Putin mentioned how America, you know, they have used information, or rather disinformation, as a method of war on the young. And that's what that is. That's what that's going into. You know, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So he tries to make it seem like, you know, we're a democracy. You know, we are trying to eliminate certain things from history books so that kids won't grow up, you know, with hatred, or, you know, whatever their so-called reasoning may be. But war was in his heart, because really the true reason he's doing that is to weaken people, okay, to weaken people's minds and mentality, weaken resistance, okay, against this devil, you know, because he's trying to hide his history, his evil past, all right, you know, but he has iniquity is sin upon sin upon sin, and the so-called white man has a very, very, very long list of sins to deal with. So that's his reason for trying to erase history, you know, so that people won't look at him like the devil that he is, you know. Let's keep going.
And other traditional religious institutions in our country. Now look at what they're doing with their own peoples. They're destroying the institution of family, their cultural and historical identity.
Yeah, so they're destroying the institution of family, which, you know, we see that a lot, man. You know, one way is, which he mentioned, is same-sex marriage. You know, and you know, they also push. They even have a I don't know what state it's in, but they even have a baby drop-off. You know, if you don't want your child, you know, they have a little baby bin where you can put your unwanted child. I want to say, you know, below a year, maybe below a year old, 1 year old, 1 year old, you know. So that's, like I said, that's just another example of how the so-called white man is, he's destroying people, man. All right, he's destroying the family. All right, that structure, which is another act of genocide, you know, because that's a form of population control, and we already know his agenda is to keep the numbers low, okay, like on the Georgia Guidestones, which they took down, you know, but clearly they put up a goal which was to depopulate the earth. All right, so that's just one example. Now let's get this real quick. going into them destroying the families. Isaiah 5:20. All right. No, it's Jeremiah, Isaiah. Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So everything that the so-called white man does is a flip-flop of how things should be. His society is total opposite of life, nature, and morality. You know, because family is a very important asset to humanity. Okay, everybody, that's undeniable. Family is a very, very pivotal piece in culture and nation building and everything, you know, in society. So yeah, you know, that's that. Let's keep going.
And various perversions with regard to children up to pedophilia are accepted as the new norm, and priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings. People can live however they want, and we in Russia have never intruded into people's private life, and we're not going to do that. But what we want to say is maybe they should take a look in the scripture, into the holy book of any great religion. It says that the family is a union between woman and man. And these holy texts are now being increasingly doubted in the West. The Anglican Church is now considering the idea of a gender-neutral God. What can we say? God forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, so and as I was searching for something, because I can't remember the name of it. Sexually attractive minors.
Rusty.
New at 5:30, an Old Dominion University professor is taking a lot of heat. Alan Walker said the word pedophile.
Minor attracted people. Okay, minor attracted people. That's a word because Putin mentioned that pedophilia is one of the things that's a norm, right? You know, that's become widely starting to become accepted in the West. And that's called minor. They are trying to, just another example of him trying to, his words being smoother than butter. They're trying to sugarcoat or come up with a softer term for the word, because the word pedophile has a negative connotation. So they're trying to, you know, come up with a different terminology, you know, such as minor attracted people. Okay, which is totally wicked. All right, it's totally wicked. All right, and you know, he mentioned he mentioned same-sex marriage. He mentioned all these different things that the West is doing. Okay, that's destroying the society, man. Hey, you look at Russia and the East. You know, they have preserved a lot of their culture. You know, they've preserved a lot of their family structure, you know, their language, their food. You know, America is just a big melting pot of just doing whatever the hell you want, man. You know, you could just do whatever that. You could wake up and just be completely bugged out. You could wake up one day and just say, you know, I'm a man, but hypothetically, I could wake up and just say I'm a woman. I'm a 5-year-old girl. I identify as a 5-year-old girl. So just examples of how this place is totally bugged out and wicked. And Putin is pointing out now. He made a good point, which is the scriptures. He pointed to the scriptures, and he said all texts. He said all sacred texts, point to family being important. And he had to say that because there's multiple religions, but most importantly, the scriptures say that. The scriptures talk about the union between a man and a woman. About a man shall leave his household, a woman shall leave his household, and they shall be married. So it emphasizes marriage and family structure, So this is important. Now, Putin was on point there because the Bible does speak on that. All right, the Bible does, in fact, indeed, go into family, the importance of family. All right, so let's get this 2 Timothy 3:6. Matter of fact, maybe it's 2 or is it 1 Timothy? Let's see. So it says, 2 Timothy. Yeah, 2 Timothy 3:16. It says, all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. All right? For instruction in righteousness, for correction, okay? For reproof. Yeah, so going back, it says, all scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof. Yeah, so these are all instruction in righteousness, correction. Okay, these are all good examples. Excuse me. These are all good examples, okay, of how useful the scriptures is. Okay, it's very useful. Instruction in righteousness, okay, it's very, very pivotal. Okay, for the scriptures is a very important aspect of life, man. So that was pretty much it. I just wanted to chime in on those few things, So I'll end up by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakakwadash. That belongs to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom.